Alright, what's up YouTube? Your boy Crypto Tone coming at ya with another video. So, got some news from a couple of days ago, still relevant though. This is pretty much the news that liquidated Hajin Lee for the most part. As you guys may know, Vinny put out a video about how he went short on February 6th and then most likely got wrecked on February 8th because he went short at the bottom for the most part. So you're going to start seeing news articles like this, guys. I'm not saying that the bottom is in. I don't fucking know what's going on. I'm not a masochist like any of these clowns out there on YouTube say that they are, or at least pretend to be. Nobody knows where the true bottom is or any of that stuff. No one even knows who created Bitcoin. So stop with this, yeah, we know what the bottom's going to be and it's got to do this and that and the third. It don't got to do nothing, all right? Anyway, SEC Commissioner says Bitcoin ETF will be approved eventually. Why in the hell would this guy come out and say this now? Like, that's the main question here, guys. Are they starting to get people involved in Bitcoin again? A commissioner at the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, believes a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund ETF will ultimately be approved. Robert J. Jackson Jr. That's a pretty cool name. In an interview published by government-focused news source Roll Call on Wednesday said, "Eventually, do I think someone will satisfy the standards that we've laid out there? I hope so, yes. And I think so." So that sounds like he's pretty sure of himself. A number of Bitcoin ETF proposals have filed for SEC approval, but none has yet got the green light. Jay Clayton, chairman of SEC, has said he doesn't see a pathway to cryptocurrency ETF until concerns over market manipulation are addressed. The SEC has to date rejected at least 10 such proposals. Last August, it turned down 7 filings for ProShares, Direxion, and Granite shares. A day later, though, the regulator said it would review the proposals. In July, the SEC, for the second time, rejected Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss's proposal to list a Bitcoin ETF on the BATS BZX exchange. Discussing the Winklevoss proposal with Roll Call, Jackson said it was not a difficult case, but the risk of manipulation and harm to investors was enormous, while the market has a very serious liquidity problem. So they're still concerned out there, guys. They're still concerned for your safety. Want to keep you guys all warm and fuzzy in your house. He continued, "I'm happy to say market participants have begun to come in with ideas. Whether or not we're going to find one that really protects investors, I don't know. But I do know that the Winklevoss case wasn't especially close. So they didn't have insurance going on. They didn't have any of that stuff that like the Van Eck one does. The Van Eck ETF is the monster. That's the one that's going to get approved eventually, if any of them do. All these other ones are pretty much bullshit at the end of the day compared to that ETF. So another SEC commissioner has been even more pragmatic over the possibility of a Bitcoin ETF. Back in July, Hester Pierce said that the Winklevoss proposal rule change satisfies the statutory standard and that we should permit BZX to list and trade this Bitcoin-based exchange-traded product, ETP. From my perspective, we need to be mindful of what our role is, and it's not to be the ones who decide which innovations and which technologies get through and which ones don't," Pierce told CoinDesk soon after. So it sounds like this woman owns a couple of Bitcoins, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she even owns some Tron, who knows? The SEC's rejections have clearly not deterred all from trying to make the ETF breakthrough. Last month, due to the U.S. government shutdown, CBOE withdrew its proposed rule change that, if approved, would clear the way for a Bitcoin ETF by Van Eck and SolidX. Days later, it refiled. Guys, this is why I never gamble, because people gamble out there and they're like retarded when they go, you go to, let's say you sports gamble or something like that. The CBOE CBOE withdrawing is like, that's like getting a safety when you're at the 50-yard line. You know, like the quarterback got sacked in the other end zone. It's like almost impossible that would happen, right? Nobody could have guessed that they were going to withdraw their proposal. It would be the stupidest thing in the world, right? But guess what? They did it. Why? Because they're in the government's pockets, guys. Listen. They need to. They want to make sure everything goes through smooth, but they want to defer. They want to defer for a little bit till everybody's got their shit together. They use something as an excuse. They felt like, yeah, maybe we're gonna get denied, but listen. At the end of the day, guys, in my opinion, whoever it is created Bitcoin is a lot bigger than what most people think. It just makes sense, guys. It's something that is decentralized completely. It's the only way the entire world could potentially trust something is through a decentralized system where they can rebel in a way where they're rebelling, but they're really not at the same time. So it's an ingenious thing that was created, and whether or not it was created by Satoshi or whatever, you can think whatever you want to think. I mean, I don't really think that Satoshi is a guy. I think it was a government. So anyway. Also in January, Bitwise Asset Management announced its plan to launch a Bitcoin ETF. So more ETFs on the table. Eventually one will get approved is what the one of the SEC guys are saying out here. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I mean, I think it's inevitable that the Van Eck one gets approved because there's insurance for holders. That's the biggest thing is that, you know, God forbid these people lose their private keys or something like that. They're going to be knocking on the door of the SEC, and the SEC is going to be like, what do you want me to do? You're like, what do you want me to do? You another Bitcoin guy knocking on my door? They can't have that. CBOE and Van Eck need to be held to, you know, what they're saying. And, you know, if they're able to get insurance for Bitcoin and somebody gets hacked or whatnot, the insurance pays out. That's the way that it works, guys. Everyone needs to have insurance these days, especially when you're driving a car or investing or whatever it is that you're doing, especially people that are dealing with millions of dollars. They're not going to be taking the L like that. And they're not going to be on no freaking BitMEX over there playing around like that. If they got millions of dollars, they're going to be fucking with Fidelity or Bakkt or somebody like that. Or CBOE, whatever. Van Eck. So, let me know in the comments below what you think. With that being said, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, holla at your boy, peace.